channel DAV Tutor. So yesterday we have completed worksheet 1 and in this video we will learn new topic, that is square roots and another way of finding a Pythagorean triplet. So let's start. Let me remind chapter 1 squares and square roots, class 8 DAV. Let's start. So Pythagorean triplet and square roots. First we will discuss about another way of finding a Pythagorean triplet. Yesterday when we were dealing with worksheet 1 second part, we have said that a square plus b square is equals to c square is one of the way to find a Pythagorean triplet. In this video we will learn the another way of finding a Pythagorean triplet. So let us see what is the condition. If a, b and c are the three natural numbers with a as the smallest of them, then first condition, if a is odd, sum of other two numbers is a square and their difference is 1. So let us see it with an example. So let's take Pythagorean triplets as 3, 4 and 5. So the smallest side is 3, which means a, and this is odd as well. So if a is odd, so 3 is odd, so and it is the smallest, so take 3 as a, and other two numbers is a square, and the sum of the other two numbers is a square. So a square should be 4 plus 5, right? A is 3, so 3 square is 9, and this is same, 3 square is 9, so a square is 9, and their difference should be 1. So 5 minus 4 is 1. So this condition is satisfied by this Pythagorean triplet, and this is the method. If a is odd, then we have to find like this the other numbers of that triplet. So let us write this example with condition 1. Example 3, 4, 5. Now this one is done. Now see the second one. If a is an even, if a is an even number, then sum of other two different number is a square upon 2 and the difference is 1. Means if a means the smallest number, if it is even, then the sum of other two numbers should be equals to a square divided by 2 and their difference should be 2. So let us see this example by 10, 24 and 26. 10, 24, 26. Being smallest size 10, it will be an even number. So 10 square upon 2 should be equals to their sum, right? 24 plus 26. So 24 plus 26 is 50 and 10 square is 100 and 100 upon 2 means 50 and here is also 50. So 50 is equal, and if you see the difference is 26 minus 24, that is 2. So this is also satisfied. And example of the second method where a is even number, example is 10, 24 and 26 are Pythagorean triplet. Okay, now let us move to the next topic, that is square roots, which will be covered in this video. Okay, so we know that 4 square is equals to 4 into 4, that is 16. We say that square root of 16 is 4. This is written as 16 under root is equals to 4. Students, pay attention here. This is the symbol of square root. Any number lying here is said to be a root under it. For example 16, so 16 under root. So the root of 16 is 4. It means the number multiplying gets this number. 2 times the number should be multiplied, which should give you 16. So 4 into 4, right? 4 into 4 and 1 4 we take common because this means this. So that is we take 1 as common and therefore it is 4. So this means 16 is under root and 4 is the root. And 16 is the square of 4 because 4 into 4 is 16. And if you write it under the root, it means what is the square root of 16, and the answer would be 4. Now, note, minus 4 square is equals to 16. Therefore, square root of 16 can be minus 4 also. But here in this chapter, in this class, we are taking positive square root only. Why? Because any square is what? Number multiplying itself, right? Minus 4 into minus 4 is positive 16. Because minus minus cancel and it becomes plus. Therefore, it is also 16, and 4 into 4 it is also 16. Therefore, minus 4 can also be the square root of 16. But we have to take positive square root only in this chapter, so we will not bother about it now. Now let us see more examples. 7 square is 49, and 49 under root is 7. Means what is it means? It is asking what is the square root of 49. So square root of 49 is 7, because 7 into 7 is 49. Now the next example is 5 square is 25, and what is the square root of 25 is 5, means 25 under root is 5. Next example is 8 square 64, and under root 64 is 8, means square root of 64 is 8. So by the above things we knew that in general, if m square is n, then n under root is equals to m, right? Means for example, 2 square is 4, so 4 under root is equals to 2. Considering 2 as m and 4 as n. So it is clear that m square is equals to n, and when n is under root, then n under root is equals to m. Hence, by those following things, we observe that square root of a given natural number n is the natural number m whose square is n. Now, from the previous examples, we observed the following things. First is the square root of an even number is always even. Example, 2 square 4 and 4 square 16. Square root and square both are even. Second observation is the square root of an odd number is always odd. For example, 3 square 9 and 9 square 81. 9 is odd as well as 3 is odd. Here 9 is odd and 81 is also odd, which means root is odd and square is also odd. Third, we studied about the symbol of root. Symbol of square root is this. This is the symbol of square root. And the fourth thing which we observed, that if a is the square root of b, then b will be the square of a. That is what? If m is the square root of n, then n is the square of m. Right? So up till here, about everything about square roots and Pythagorean triplet, it is clear. Now we have to observe the following pattern which has been given on page number 8 in the book. Okay, so this is the pattern which we have to observe. So here what you observe, 1 plus 3 is equals to 2 square. 1 plus 3 is 4 and 4 is 2 square. 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9 and 9 is 3 square. So here what we are observing, the sum of first and odd numbers is n square. Means if we are seeing that the first four odd numbers if we are adding, then we are getting the fourth square. And if when we add 5 first odd numbers, then we get 5 square. Similarly, when we add first 6 odd numbers, we get 6 square. And similarly, when we will add first 7 square or 8 square or 9 square, or initially with increasing odd numbers, we will get the square of that numbers respectively. For example, here you can see 1 plus 3, first two odd numbers we get 4 and it is the square of 2. Means we add first two squares, we add first two odd numbers, so we get the square of 2. When we add first three numbers, then we get the square of 3. When we add first 4 odd numbers, then we get the square of 4. So the numbers of odd number we add, that number particularly we get the square of that number. Like here it is given 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 is 16 and 16 is 4 square. The number of odd number is 4 and that is only the square we will get of. The number which we will add, the sum of odd numbers we will add, and the number of odd numbers which we are adding, that will be the square root, and their square we will get in this pattern. So in this way I think we can find square root of a number, and this method is known as repetitive subtraction method. How it is known as repetitive subtraction method? So here you see, like we saw, first the sum of first n odd numbers is n square. So the sum of first 3 odd numbers we take, it is 9 and this is 3 square. First 3 odd numbers we took, therefore we get 3 square. And if you just subtracted from backward direction 5, like you subtracted 9 minus 1. Okay, so here we did this, what we get? 8. Now the second, 8 minus 3, we get 5, and now you subtracted 5 minus 5, you get 3 square. How? Because first time, second time and third time. So the number of times we get until 0, that will be the square root of that number. See, this is known as finding square root of a number by the repetitive subtraction method. It was interconnected by this, and let me explain you once how it has been connected. Here when you add them, first odd numbers when you add, then we get their square root. So if we subtract that square by odd numbers in increasing order, then we will get that square root, right? If we add that odd numbers and we get the square, and when we subtract odd numbers from the square, then we get the square root. Means the number of times the subtraction will lead you to the 0, that will be the square root of that number. So let us see these by examples. So take first we find out 9. Now we will find for 121. As per your book we will go, it is example 2, right? We need to find 121 by repeated subtraction method. I am writing is SRSM. Okay. So we subtracted by increasing odd numbers. By first increasing odd numbers until we get 0. So when we will get 0, then we will stop, and then we will count how many steps we took to get 0, and that step would be the square root of that particular number. So 121 is our question. Okay, so now how to solve? 121 minus 1. Okay? It is step 1. 121 minus 1, 120. Now again minus at the second chance 120. Next odd number is 3, so minus it. And third chance would be 117. Next odd number 5, and it will be 112. Now fourth step, 112 minus 9. 112 minus 7. Next odd number would be 7. So it will be 105. Now fifth step, 105 minus 9, that is 96. Then sixth step, 96 minus 11, 85. Seventh step, 85 minus 13, 72. Then 72 minus 15 would lead to 57. Ninth step, 57 minus 17, 40. 10th step, 40 minus 19, because we are you just observe how I am doing it. 19, 21, and the next odd number is 21 as well itself. So 21 minus 21 is 0. So now you have lead to 0. So now I have marked for your ease so that you can see the number of steps. So in 11th step I get 0. So 11th is the square root for 121, because in 11th step we get 0. So the answer will be 11. This is the square root of 121. So did you all notice how I did this? What we have to do in this method, we just subtract odd numbers by we are given. We have subtracted from 121 the successive odd numbers from 1 to 21 and obtained in 0 in step 11. Therefore 11 is the square root of 121. So first odd number is 1, then 3, then 5, then 7, and we just subtracted each other with their difference, and in the 11th step we get 0, and therefore 11 is the square root for 121. I hope you must have understood. And worksheet 2 is based on this only, finding square root of a number by the repeated subtraction method. And this worksheet will be continued and will be completed tomorrow, means in the next video. So stick with studies and subscribe DAV Tutor to get your answers and doubts and concepts clear, and be ready for your next session ahead. Thank you very much. Just keep subscribing and updating your knowledge. Thank you. Have a very good day.